Hello, welcome to a new video. Thank you for joining me today. If you're new, welcome. Hi, my name is Charlotte. This is my YouTube channel, Our Future is Mars. I focus on everything environmental, the best ways to live sustainably. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about composting. And in past videos, I have really shared how composting can be a solution for us. But like everything else in the world, doing anything too many times is probably not the best choice. So today I'm going to be answering the question, is composting actually beneficial? Is it actually good? Should we actually be doing it? What happens if we compost too much? I guess that's more than a question, it's a few questions. But let's dive into the video and I hope you enjoy this one. So composting is obviously good for a variety of reasons. It recycles organic matter. It can often be just right outside in your own backyard. It conserves a ton of landfill space, and it saves water by helping the soil hold moisture and reduce water runoff. Plus, in return, we get healthy, nutrient-rich soil. But again, the question comes, are we giving too much hype to composting? Personally, I think composting is one of the best ways to dispose of waste, as long as it can be composted. However, it does not mean in any way it will save the planet itself. As with anything, there is no one single solution. And I think it's super important to be cautious of the amount we're composting and be more intentional about consuming foods before we can even let them rot. I want to just give a disclaimer that this video is not meant to discourage anyone from composting. I just want you to be more aware of all the different possibilities in the world. Food has a lot more potential than being dirt, right? We can feed ourselves, we can donate to people that can't afford fresh produce, we can feed animals, food has industrial uses, and then finally composting. This is it. This is what you should do. This is the food pyramid, the new food pyramid, right? The composting pyramid, or the food waste pyramid rather. It just shows there are so many uses for organic matter. And what is really just absurd and crazy and unbelievable is that America wasted 80 billion pounds of food. 80 billion, oh my God, 80 billion. That's worth hundreds of billions of dollars, which went to landfills. And it proves that if we had a better way of distributing food equally, we would save money, have less waste, and prevent significant amount of world hunger. It makes you think twice before composting. World hunger shouldn't be a problem if there are people just putting food on the ground or in the trash, yet it is. And one thing that I don't think anyone really notes when it comes to composting is that composting still produces methane. And yes, it's a significantly smaller amount than landfills, but it still is produced. If you didn't know, while CO2 is a major problem, methane is way worse. In fact, methane is known to be 21 times more worse than CO2 emissions. Composting can also take a long time to break down, and this of course varies with what you're composting, but sometimes organic matter needs to sit for up to a year before it's safe to use in your garden, especially around food so that it can be valuable. This means if you're trying to compost, it can be really helpful to have a lot of space open for a long period of time, which not a lot of people have. Composting, unless done really, really well, also emits odors, which I think drives a lot of people away from the idea of composting at all. The last thing we should consider is the cost for site preparation and equipment. If you're not using a backyard compost bin, that's definitely something that we need to look at. Unless you are recycling correctly, animals in your backyard can be wild and vicious. So it's really important to make sure they can't access your bin. One tip is to freeze your compost and then send it to a facility in a bigger batch, especially if there isn't a facility near you, because it will decrease transportation costs. And I'm definitely going to keep advocating for composting because I believe it is something we will need to keep doing forever if we want to see positive effects on our planet. It's of course way, way, way better than food going to a landfill, because while composting might emit methane, nothing breaks down in the landfill. If you didn't know already, I kind of mentioned it a little bit throughout the video, but you can use just straight up compost in your garden, like soil. That's actually what we did this past spring, summer. We had a garden for the first time and we literally just used our own compost, as long again as if it has been given enough time to break down. I just wanted to mention this because I know people that have a compost bin, get it collected, brought to a facility, and then buy a bag of soil mixed with compost for their gardens. It's like you can do that all at home and save a lot of money, A, from the people that are picking up your compost, and B, from the people giving you the fresh soil. You also save a ton of energy and money, and it's easier than ever if you've already built the habit of composting. So I hope this video was useful. It was kind of just my insight. In the end, yes, composting is definitely a valuable, useful thing we all need to be doing. I really wish more people did. I for sure know people that have never even considered composting. But like I said, we need to be conscious with everything we do, and you will always have some kind of impact on the environment. So you might as well try to have a positive one and avoid sending waste to landfills. If it doesn't need to go there, just use it in a garden, please, or just in the ground. And one last thing, composting does not give you an excuse to go overbuy produce. Sometimes it can be like, oh, it's okay if this food goes bad because we'll just composting it. It's like, no, please eat it if you can. Eat what's about to go bad first, because that is the best way to reduce the amount of food you're buying in the first place. Alright, I'll see you all next week. If you made it this far in the video, please give it a thumbs up. Please like and subscribe. Please just do everything you feel like doing, because I would really appreciate it. Comment below, share the video, and until next time, peace. Which you can check out my video on the things that you cannot recycle, because that is holy shit, how long have I been saying recycling? Composting.